Hi guys, welcome back to my art room. I'm really excited for all the fun projects that we're gonna do. Let's go ahead and recap a few of my expectations and then we'll get started. The green arrows are found all around the room. Please follow them because it helps with traffic. When we line up, we always follow the green arrows to the black box. Okay, so let's go ahead and get these projects started. I want you to take a look at this image. What you're looking at is an image of a few architects working together. Could anyone raise their hand and please tell us what an architect does? I hope that someone said an architect is someone who designs buildings. So let's go ahead and turn and talk to a neighbor. Here's what I want you to talk about. Please talk about if you could build your own house, what would you put in it? Would you put it in a bowling alley? Would you put it in a laser tag court? Go ahead and tell a friend what you would design in your own house. Now, whenever someone says architecture, what they're talking about is buildings. It can be schools, it can be offices, it can be anything where humans work or live in. Here's an interesting drawing of a building. This building has value. Now, I'm not talking about money kind of value, I'm talking about an art kind of value. Does anyone want to raise their hand and tell us what value means in art? Value is the lights and darks of an image. So you can see that this shape, this sphere here, has a deep dark shadow and then has really bright parts, which are almost white, and we can call those highlights, and then we can call the dark parts the shadows. Today, I will go over some techniques that you can use to make your shapes look very real. Then we'll have some practice at making these shapes into what looks like a building. So if you picked up the materials correctly, you should have one packet and then one pencil in front of you. If you ever need to sharpen your pencil, take a look inside of your bin. You should see a little cup. Inside the cup, you should find at least one sharpener and maybe an eraser. You can use those today whenever you need to. You don't need to ask permission to sharpen your pencil. Just make sure that when you sharpen, you hold the sharpener over the cup so that all that junk falls in the cup, and then you don't even have to go to the trash can. You can just use this to sharpen your pencil. When you're done with the cup, make sure that the lid is on tight, and then you can place it back into your bin. Go ahead and sharpen those pencils. You're welcome to whisper while you sharpen those to get ready. I'm gonna give y'all about a minute, but please just let me know that you're ready by giving me a thumbs up. You can even give me a lazy thumbs up on the table. Just let me know. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing asks us for our name. Guess what you put there, guys? I hope you said your name. So I'm gonna put Mr. Boatfield because that is my special name, but if you have a special name that your parents gave you, go ahead and put that name there, please. And then it says CC. That's gonna be our class code. I will go ahead and pause the video now, and I will write your class code on the board for you. Okay, great job, guys. So these parts here, this is just for your reference in case you ever forget some of the directions I'm about to give you on how to draw these forms. We are going to use these to create our building. So this is just something that you can reference back to, so it'll always be here for you. So since we're not doing anything on the first page, I do want you to go ahead and flip yours over. We're gonna do the blank page right behind the first page, so go ahead and make sure that's open where you can see it. We're gonna practice a little bit of our forms together before we get started on the cool project that we have to do today. So what I wanna draw now is going to be a cube. So a cube is a 3D version of what shape? So what shape makes up a cube? I hope you said a square. So what I want you to do, and this does not have to be perfect, guys, just draw yourself a little square. Give yourself a little bit of room from the edges of the paper, you'll need it. Go ahead and draw a square, and then give me a thumbs up to show me that you're ready. Awesome. So to make this square 3D, we have to give it a few more lines. When you're making these shapes 3D, use diagonal lines. Diagonal lines are anything that goes from bottom to the top right. It could be top left to bottom right. Basically anything that kind of looks like the lines of an X, those are diagonal lines. Let's go ahead and write diagonal, D-I-A-G-O-N-A-L. Go ahead and write diagonal, please, and then you can even draw yourself a little picture to help you remember. And then give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Awesome. So we need to add some diagonal lines to this shape here to make it look 3D. So find the corners, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw some diagonals. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those do not have to be long. Go ahead and draw some diagonals hanging out on your corners, and then give me a thumbs up to show me you're ready. Awesome job. So now we need to connect them, because right now it still doesn't look 3D. I'm gonna connect these two together, and then I'm gonna connect these two. Oop, I didn't make this one long enough. I'm gonna extend it a little bit more. And then I'm gonna connect these two, and then connect these two. So you can kind of see the 3D shape. It almost looks like we can see inside the shape, but we're gonna erase those lines later, so don't be mad if it doesn't look perfect. Okay, go ahead and give me a thumbs up when you have this. Awesome job, guys. So now I need to erase. Oh no, I don't have an eraser on my pencil. So I need to open my cup, and I'm going to erase the insides. So think about the lines you don't need anymore. The lines that we really couldn't see. I'm gonna put this little camera down. The lines I don't need are this one, I don't need this one no mo, and I don't need this one no mo. It should look something like that. The only lines that I'm keeping are the top, these two sides here, the bottom, this side, and then also the back. I don't need any of those extra lines. Go ahead and erase that. You can share the eraser on your table. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Awesome. So it still doesn't look exactly real yet. I need to add shadow. We're gonna go ahead and write shadow. S-H-A-D-O-W. Shadow. So I need to go ahead and write that if you haven't already, but also give your box some shadow. Pick a couple different faces. So these are called faces of our cube. And pick maybe 2 to add some shadow. So I'm gonna pick the top of my cube, and maybe I'll pick the side of my cube. You can pick different sides, guys, different faces. And choose one to make really, really dark. So I'm gonna press my pencil even harder. I'm just kind of holding my pencil to the side and basically coloring in those 2 faces of my shape. But one is gonna be a little bit darker, because that is what makes it look really real. So once you have something like this, give it a little try, guys. It's just practice. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Now, if this were more of like a rectangle kind of 3D shape, you could always extend these different shapes and make them longer. I'm just showing you the cube because it's one of the easier ones. Another one that you may encounter is going to be the cylinder. So a cylinder is kind of like what kind of shape, but 3D. Okay, so I hope you said maybe either a circle or a rectangle, or kind of like a combination of circle and a rectangle. So I'm gonna show you how to draw a cylinder. What you're gonna do is you're going to draw an ellipse. So here's the difference. A circle is a circle, but an ellipse is more like a football shape or an oval. So we are not doing circles. That is not what cylinders look like when they're real. We are doing ellipses. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw one ellipse, and then go ahead and draw 2 lines down. It's gonna look a little bit like a soup can. Go ahead and draw one ellipse and then 2 lines down on each side. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Awesome. Now what I want you to do, we're gonna make it really easy. Instead of drawing another ellipse down here, I just want you to draw basically a happy face kind of line on the bottom. So it's starting to look like the shape of like a soup can or some sort of cylinder. That's what we want. And then what you're gonna do, I want you to put a shadow on the top. Sometimes they have a shadow on the top, sometimes they don't, but we're just gonna put one here just to practice. But we need shadow on here. But there really is no faces because it's so round. So there's really, it's not like the cube where we can put on different sides. You kind of just have to choose a side and put a little bit of shadow on the other side. So what I mean is I'm gonna take my pencil and I'm just gonna lightly color one side of it. Now that looks pretty real. I could make it look even more real though. I'm gonna show you a little trick. Take your finger, this is gonna be your blender, and just go up and down the side of that shadow, and it starts to, I hope you said blend. It makes it look really cool and real. So if you wanna do something like that, you can. Sometimes the cylinder will have a shadow on both sides. You can do that as well. Just put your little bit of color down and then blend it in. So that's kind of a little trick to make it look really 3D. And then if it's not dark enough for you, you can always go back and give it a little bit more. That's okay too. So we've practiced 2 different shapes. Okay, so let me explain the next directions. Go ahead and place your pencils down. I'm going to show you everything that you need to know. So it says, practice drawing the forms on the blocks on your table. Draw at least 5 different shapes. Please include the shape, form, and shadows. So you're gonna find some different shapes in a plastic bag on your table. Your table members, so the people around you, they need to share these as well, so please share and use kind words. When you're ready, you're gonna take a shape and then you are going to draw it yourself. So let's think about the steps. This is more of a rectangle, and please pardon my soup, I was really hungry. I am going to draw myself a rectangle. So I'm starting my first shape, remember I have to have 5. And then I'll put my, what kind of lines? Hope you said diagonals. And then I can connect it all together. And now I need to add what? I hope you said shadow. So I'm gonna go ahead and color in my shape. And then I get to choose one face of my shape that's gonna be even darker. So I'm just gonna choose this one just because I feel like it. And that will be my realistic shape. So I already have 1 down. I need 4 to go. Okay, so that took a second. I practiced my shapes. There were some that were super hard, even for me, especially this triangle. I really had to look at it, even from the side, and kind of decide which one was gonna be my shadow, which one was not. I kind of drew it from this angle, so I could only really see one really side of it. So you're gonna have to just kind of problem solve yourself. This is just practice, guys, so don't take it too seriously. There is also another activity today. On the floor, you're gonna find some of these kind of random books, and then you're gonna find my castle set. Okay, so what we're doing here is you are working with a group. I will call y'all in groups to come to the rug. I'm gonna give y'all 10 minutes to basically draw a castle that y'all are gonna create. So the first thing that you're gonna do, before you worry about drawing anything, you'll need to bring your packets, and then you'll need one of these random books. But before we get there, let's go ahead and build a castle. You are building this with your group mates, so you're building one castle together. You can use as many blocks as you want. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of stacking them. I can be crazy. It does not have to look like a normal castle. This is not a normal castle at all, and yours doesn't have to be either. So, you know, be quick about creating your castle because you only have 2 minutes to create it. So you gotta work fast. It can be crazy because the reason I'm giving y'all 2 minutes is because you have to draw the castle that you created in 10 minutes, which is actually not a lot of time. It's gonna go by really fast. I have my castle kind of built the way that I want. You are allowed to sit however you want. I personally kind of just like to hang out really low. That way I can really see the castle. You're gonna turn to the page that says, here's where you draw your crazy building. You can put it on the book to kind of help you draw your building with a flat surface. And you are just going to look very, very carefully and try drawing your crazy building. Please make it 3D. Try to add some shadows. You can make it up if you don't know where the shadows are. You're the artist, you can decide this, but just try your best at drawing the castle the way you see it. Ooh-wee, that was a lot. All right, thanks for being patient. Last few things, if you need any help today, please just raise your hand. Please use voice level 0, 1, or 2 today while you're working. I want you to have fun, be creative. Also, please put away all materials when you are done. So when those groups are done on the carpet, they will put away their blocks so that the next group can really get in there and create their own castle without having to deal with cleaning up. Alrighty guys, I think that we are going to have an awesome, fun day. We'll probably work on this project for 2 days before we get started on our architect building. That will give you enough time to really practice. So I am excited. I hope that you are too, and we're gonna have an awesome day. Bye-bye.